Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'll just begin with a quote. My name is Reverend Canon Mwesigye, and I'm championing at the moment a policy, a national policy that is unique in its own to regulate religious operations and activities in this country. Reason? That people wake up and dream at night. The following morning they begin churches and other things. And we've had so many things done in the name of religion, like the inferno that happened in 2000 in this country, people dying in the name of religion. I just want to read a quote from a book written by one of the famous writers and evangelist, Miles Munroe. And he writes, "The greatest threat to the future of the world is religion. Nuclear weapons, terrorism, shifting governments, military coups, and AIDS are simply tools used by religion. More wars have been fought in the name of religion than any other influence. Millions have died over the past 2,000 years under the destructive hand of religion." I end that. Does that mean that religion is bad? The answer is yours. The topic today is very fundamental. Interfaith, peace building, and prevention of identity-based conflict. I would like to concentrate on dialogue as an approach, as a method of resolving conflict. Interfaith dialogue involves people of different religions, different cultural backgrounds, even politicians, different ideologies, coming together to have a conversation. But this conversation, like we are in now, is not limited to verbal exchange alone. It is dramatic conversations about things that matter. Interfaith dialogue that I'm talking, which is actually one way of creating or bringing peace to the world, is not intended to be a debate. It is aimed at mutual understanding, not competing, at mutual problem solving, not converting. The goal of interfaith dialogue in peace building is to integrate the vision of one family under God, having universal principles, shared values in the church, in the mosque, in cultural institutions, in political institutions. A dialogue may start like a conversation, but it is not necessarily a conversation. One needs to note that a dialogue is not a debate, because a debate implies an intention to win an argument, to prove one's side right, or to change the views of the opponent. Dialogue in this case, as far as interfaith is concerned, does not aim to eliminate differences of opinion and conviction. Dialogue in this case is meant to gain an understanding and acceptance of the differences that we live in. Therefore, interreligious dialogue, its aim is not undermining belief. On the contrary, it is meant to be constructive so that people firmly participate to understand their own traditions, allowing them to take seriously the practices and beliefs. I'll just give practical examples. Interfaith dialogue is more than a conversation in that it can generate deep-held emotions. It is more than a conversation if it is well handled. It goes beyond talk. It goes to shared activities. In Uganda, we are talking of gender balance, and we mostly do emancipate women at the expense of men. It goes to explaining, to understanding one another, attending each other's religious activities. It goes to explaining to each other particular religious practices. It can entail joint activities where they are engaged together in some faith-based activity and addressing issues like injustice. you will have a church or a mosque which are very interested in poverty, in helping child refugees. The first thing people do is first to have a dialogue. They think about why Christians and Muslims should be committed to children refugees in Uganda. Why should they be committed? They sit and ask themselves about the historical issues. They get to real issues. What is the practice? What is the essential approach on the ground that we need to do? So the dialogue will then lead to steps, to groups coming together. How do we help refugees? Where do we find local partners to save them? Where do we find clothes? How do we distribute these clothes? How do we protect these children? Which politicians can we work with who can help us? And which do we see as allies to help our program continue and become sustainable? I'm just giving an example. Otherwise, we shall end up talking and talking. Therefore, to end my talk, when you talk of interfaith or interfaith peace building to prevent identity conflict, it means reconciliation programs and activities which bring together individuals of different ethnic, religious, political backgrounds from areas of civil conflict and war. These programs provide opportunities for adversaries to address issues, reconcile differences, promote greater understanding and mutual trust on common goals. I end with a quote. I'm quoting David Smoke in his book, Interfaith Dialogue and Peace Building. Quote, there are a range of ways that people can approach interfaith peace building and prevention of identity-based conflicts. But it's essential, listen to this, my brothers and sisters, but it's essential that the goals be set out and a methodology be agreed upon before you begin to embark on what you want to do. I end my talk.